Happy holidays. I'm really happy to be here. And it is almost 2020. So my prediction for 2020 is that I'm going to put out an episode every Sunday. Um, I hope. We'll see how that works out. Um, I actually, for this show, I looked around and I saw some really bad predictions about the future made by some pretty intelligent people in computers. So C.A. Hawari, that's Sir Charles Anthony Hawari of Quicksort fame back in 1982, said, "I don't know what the language of the year 2000 will look like, but I know it will be called Fortran," which is really funny because in 2000 I was like full on programming in C. And so were many people. People had kind of gone away from programming in Fortran, and yeah, smart people can say dumb things. John McAfee in 1988 said the problem of viruses is temporary and will be solved in 2 years. He said that back in 1988. It's 2019. Yeah, well, I guess look at your virus software and just laugh. Bill Gates back in 1994 said, "I see little commercial potential for the internet for at least 10 years." And in 2004, he said, 2 years from now, spam will be solved, right? It's 2019 and spam is almost solved actually because of machine learning. And that's a topic I want to get into this episode. So for this episode, happy holidays, no code notebook. But please read up about machine learning in general. And specifically, if you want to get a jump on the next episode, read Man is to Computer Programming as Woman is to Homemaker, Debiasing Word Embeddings by Bullock Basi et al. It's actually like a group there that's an industry academia collaboration, and they did a really good, interesting job. The theme of this episode is we need a clear vision for 2020, especially in terms of machine learning, but just generally. I got into computer programming fairly young. My mother actually told me when I went to college, no matter what you do, make sure you go over to the computer science department and take a programming course, because if not, you're going to get snowed. And I didn't really understand how true that was until years later. And you see this all the time. People get snowed. And when I say snowed, I mean hoodwinked. They get the blanket pulled over their eyes, and people tell them lies. The typical lie is, oh, you want this project done, it will take like $500,000 and 5 of my friends, and like, you see this in machine learning a lot now, actually, unfortunately, because let's be real here. Someone like me can use Keras or even something pre-built like Ludwig and some shell bash, and make a machine learning program in like a day. I don't know why people need so much money invested into this unless they want to do something super industrial that's really fast. In that case, they need, to kind of optimize a machine learning program to what exists in their institution. But there's a lot of nonsense and, kind of hoodwinking going on in that. And just in general with computers. So if you're a professional, whether you're like a dentist, a doctor, a carpenter, even at some point you interface with computers and computer programming, and maybe you just need something as simple as a website built. Don't get the snow pulled over your eyes. Learn to program a little bit so you understand how simple things are or how complicated, and don't have someone rob you. And in terms of the whole field, there's going to potentially be a lot of snow when people get sick of us. I do believe that if we continue to screw up in machine learning, we're going to see essentially a second AI winner, because people will get so sick of bad, biased programs that hurt patients or do terrible things. They'll just give up. They'll say, okay, it's impossible to make a good machine learning program. It just can't be done. And that's wrong, because it can. You just need to have a clear vision of how you would build such a program. I mean, a lot of this sometimes just comes down to testing, adversarial testing. If you think your program has a problem, test for it. Now, there is some hope here. I don't think it's 100% that we're going to end up in a second AI winner. I see a lot of hope with the young people. And if you read my blog, I'm not a fan of young people, but I'm actually bringing a young person on my show next week. He is literally the best data scientist I know. And I hate to say that because that means I'm not the best data scientist I know. But he's better than me by orders of magnitude, literally orders of magnitude. He's the best one I know. And he has some extremely sophisticated thoughts about fairness in algorithms, fairness in machine learning and data science, much more sophisticated than anything I think up. So here's a picture of him. He's teaching some of the youngsters in Israel. He is amazing, and we've got him scheduled to come by my house on January 2nd, so watch out for an upcoming episode with an interview of him. I really hope that we can be better in terms of machine learning in 2020 and programming in general, but especially machine learning. Because, if we go the wrong way and we continue to make these terrible biased programs, people are going to get sick of us. They're going to give up on these technologies early and move on. They will move on to something else. They'll go back to expert systems maybe, which are not going to work. Not right now. But if we are very careful and cautious and a little bit better about the way we manage data, in terms of medicine, there could be some great programs made. Ultimately, I think this kind of work has the potential to liberate clinicians and, professionals in general. So this can go two ways. We can continue to make terrible programs and then give up on the mess and go into AI winner, or hopefully, we can use these capabilities to create awesome programs and bring on some kind of AI utopia where, we're all gonna have way more free time. We'll go live in a hammock on the beach while our programs run, and then we'll come in and we'll check them, like for 2 hours a day, see everything went fine. And, we'll finally live in this sort of like robot sponsored utopia where we can chill out and be with our families more. And that's what I hope. I hope that we're going to be able to build those kind of programs in 2020 and going forward. So happy New Year, and let's hope for a better future.